Matapos ang mga buwan ng masusing pagdinig at talakayan, marami na tayong natuklasan ng mga issue at gayon ay marami na rin po tayong nalaman ukol sa mga pangangailangan ng ating batas at regulasyon. Malayo na ang narating natin, ngunit alam pa rin natin na marami pa tayong kailangang busisiin. Isa sa mga pangunahing tungkulin ng Kongreso ay ang bumuo ng mga batas na tunay na maglilingkod sa ating bayan. Ang ating layunin ay hindi lamang lumikha ng mga batas, kundi bumuo ng mga batas na tunay na sumasailalim sa pangangailangan at hangarin ng bawat Pilipino. Sa bawat hearing tayo ay naglalakbay sa mga sulok ng ating mga batas, nagiging mata at tenga ng ating mga kababayan. Dito natin natutuklasan ang mga kakulangan ng ating batas. Mga puwang na bilang mga kongresista ay dapat nating sikapin na punan upang mas mapabuti ang ating sistema at ang kalagayan ng ating bansa. Bago ako magpatuloy, nais kong ipahayag ang taus-pusong pasasalamat sa lahat ng ating mga resource persons. Ang inyong dedikasyon ay nagbibigay liwanag sa madilim na landas ng katiwalian. Alam namin kung gaano kahirap ang inyong pagdalo sa mahabang pagdinig. Ang inyong presensya at pagsagot sa mga katanungan ng komite ay hindi matutumbasan. Aasahan po namin ang inyong patuloy na suporta at pasensya sa mga susunod na pagdinig ng komite. Nagsimula ang lahat na ito sa isang speech at isang request for investigation. Kung ating aalalahanin, nagkaroon ng privilege speech number 379 si Congressman Rolando Valeriano noong September 3, 2024 tungkol sa paggamit ng public funds ng Office of the Vice President mula 2022 hanggang 2024. At ang motu proprio na investigasyon sa manifestation ni Congresswoman Jervil R. Luistro noong September 2, 2024. Patungkol sa iba't ibang issue na nakapaligid sa budget ng Department of Education or DepEd, kasama na rito ang hindi matagumpay na pagpapadala ng mga computer units sa mga teacher, estudyante at mga paaralan. Kaya't unang sinimulan namin ang pagtingin sa regular funds ng pangalawang Pangulo sa parehong OVP at DepEd. Para sa OVP, tinignan natin ang mga maranyang satellite offices kung ating aalalahanin. Nakakabahala na halos kalahati ng budget ng OVP para sa 2023 at 2024 ay napunta sa pagtatayo at pagpapanatili ng mga satellite offices nito sa buong bansa. Ang tanggapan ng Vice President Sara Duterte ay mayroon ding napakalaking budget na 2.3 billion noong taong 2023. At dahil sa mga hindi maipaliwanag na gastos, noong 2024 ay kinailangang bawasan ang budget ng kanyang opisina sa 733.2 million. Ngunit para sa taong 2025, muli siyang humiling na bigyan siya ng 2.37 billion pesos. Tungkol naman sa DepEd, sa panahon na siya ay secretary, lumitaw ang mga pulang bandila sa procurement ng mga laptop para sa DepEd computerization program tulad ng rig bidding at pagsasabuatan ng mga bidders. Siya rin ay hindi nakapaghatid ng laptop na nagkakahalaga ng 9 billion para sa mga programa ng e-learning ng DepEd na tila isang napakalaking pagkukulang sa panahon na lumalalang pangangailangan para sa mga kagamitan ng edukasyon. Ngunit sa ating pagdinig at pagsusuri ng budget utilization ng DepEd at OVP, paulit-ulit lumilitaw at pinaka nakakabahala ang mga issue patungkol sa confidential funds. Napakalaking halaga po ang perang ito. Sa OBP, mula 4th quarter ng 2022 hanggang 3rd quarter ng 2023, mayroong nagastos na 500 million worth of confidential funds. Habang sa DepEd naman, mula 1st quarter hanggang 3rd quarter ng 2023, ay may 112.5 million pesos naman. Suma total ay may 612.5 million pesos, higit kalahating bilyon ang hinawakang confidential funds ng ating Vice Presidente. Natural bilang mga mambabatas na may mandatong masiguro na nagagamit ng wasto ang pera ng taong bayan, paulit-ulit rin naming naitatanong, saan napunta ang confidential funds? Sa ating pagsusuri, lumitaw ang mga sumusunod na kakulangan o gaps sa ating batas. Number 1, ang halaga ng Fidelity Bond para sa Special Disbursing Officers or SDO ay napakababa kumpara sa pondo na kanilang hawak. Tulad ni SDO Gina Acosta na may approved amount of bond na 8 million pesos, pero ang kanyang amount of accountability ay 500 million pesos. Si SDO Edward Fajarda naman ay may approved amount of bond na 4 million pesos, pero ang kanyang amount of accountability ay 50 million pesos. Pagpapatibay ng mga patakaran ng COA tungkol sa budget at mga technical resources. Pangatlo, pinaka nakakabahala rin ay tila walang maayos na sistema o paraan upang masiguro o ma-check o audit ng COA na nasa wasto ang paggasta ng mga confidential funds. At ikaapat, malinaw na mga alituntunin sa mga detalye na dapat isama sa physical and financial plan na dapat ding suriin ng mga ahensya ng pambansang gobyerno at hindi lamang sa Department of Budget and Management. Gayon din, ang kinakailangan ng pagsusumiti ng mas detalyadong ulat under oath ng mga accomplishment and liquidation reports kasabay na ang mga ebidensya ng accomplishment na ito. Sa terminong confidential ay tila ginagamit bilang isang panakip upang itago ang katotohanan mula sa atin. Para sa kaalaman ng lahat, ang confidential funds ay hindi discretionary allowance o funds ng isang ahensya. Hindi siya secret funds. Siguro po, panahon na upang harapin natin ang katotohanan na hindi lahat ng mga nahalal o nalalagay sa posisyon sa gobyerno ay pwedeng basta-bastang pagkatiwalaan. Kailangan pa rin ng safeguards pati sa confidential funds, sapagkat hindi maiiwasan na may mga nagtatangkang gamitin ang pagka-confidential nito upang itago ang impormasyon at pag-aabuso sa tiwala ng taong bayan. Ginagamit nila ang salitang confidential upang magbigay sa atin ng peking ilusyon na kahit ito'y lihim, ang mga pondo ay ginastos ng tama. Ngunit bakit kailangan pa itong itago sa mga taong tunay na nagpondo nito? Ang mamamayang Pilipino ay may karapatan malaman kung saan napunta ang kanilang pinaghirapang pera. Para sa akin, kapag nagamit na ang confidential funds para sa kanilang layunin, wala nang dahilan upang hindi maging bukas at maging transparent. Walang mawawala kung sila'y mag-uulat kung paano ginastos ang mga pondo dahil tapos na rin naman na yung confidential operations kung saan ito pinaggamitan. Sa ngayon, naghahanda na po kami ng 2 batas upang masolusyonan ang ilan sa mga pagkukulang na natuklasan natin. Una, an act regulating the allocation and utilization of confidential and intelligence funds imposing penalties for misuse, and Misappropriation o ang Confidential Intelligence Funds Act. Pangalawa, an act regulating special disbursing officers and imposing penalties for misappropriation o ang act regulating SDOs. Sa Confidential and Intelligence Funds Act, layunin naming tugunan ang tila maluwag na alituntunin batay sa Joint Circular number 2015-01. Sa mga hearing, nakita natin na pinapayagan ang mga resibo na may pirma lamang at hindi mabasang sulat kamay mula sa mga hindi nakikilalang tao bilang patunay ng liquidation. Panahon na upang magpatupad ng mas mahigpit na mga alituntunin sa paggamit ng mga confidential fund para sa mga confidential na gastos. Bagamat mahalaga ang mga confidential funds para sa pambansang seguridad, dapat itong balansehin sa tungkulin ng gobyerno na protektahan ang paggamit ng pampublikong pondo at ipatupad ang kinakailangang pagbabago sa batas, kaya taimtim naming hinihiling ang pag-aproba ng panukalang batas na ito. Samantalang ang Act Regulating Special Disbursing Officers and Imposing Penalties for Misappropriation, layunin nitong palakasin ang proteksyon ng pera ng bayan dahil ito ay madaling maging target ng mga head of agencies at special disbursing officers na abusuhin ang paglabas ng pondo sa milyong-milyong halaga at bilyon-bilyon na walang wastong liquidation at walang takot sa parusa. Muli rin naming bibisitahin ang mga patakaran ukol sa fidelity bonds at ang inaprubahang halaga ng bond ng mga HOAs at SDOs dahil nakita naman natin kung gaano kalaki ang pagkakaiba nito na tila nawawala na ang kabuluhan, ang layunin ng pagpapataw ng bond mula sa simula. Bagamat marami pa rin katanungan tungkol sa confidential funds, sapat na ang ating natuklasan para magampanan ang ating mandato na gumawa ng batas para sa ikabubuti ng ating bansa. Ngunit hindi tayo titigil sa ating pag-iimbestiga sapagkat ang confidential fund ay isang bahagi na lamang ng budget ng OVP at ng DepEd. Marami pa tayong kailangang busisiin at suriin upang matukoy kung ano pang aspeto ng paggamit ng pera ng bayan ang kailangang punan ng batas. At para po sa kaalaman ng lahat, ang ating pong request sa PSA or sa Philippine Statistics Authority ukol sa pangalang Mary Grace Piatos ay ating pong na-receive ang kanilang tugon dito nung dated November 25, 2024 at dito sinasabi nila na base sa kanilang record ay walang ipinanganak na Mary Grace Piatos ang pangalan. Alinsunod dito, tayo po ay sumulat upang isumite ang 677 pang pangalan na nakalagay sa acknowledgement receipt ng DepEd kung saan tayo po ay binigyan ng tugon ng Philippine Statistics Office dated December 8, 2024 at dito kanila pong sinasabi na out of 677 individuals, 405 ay walang birth certificate o walang record sa birth certificate o pwede nating sabihin na non-existent. So, nandito po ang record. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong oras at sama-sama tayong magsikap para sa mas mabubuting batas para sa bayan. I will now turn over the floor to my colleagues who have expressed interest in making a presentation to the public.
Your Honor, may I please be
I-
recognized for
Yes,
recognition?
Comsec, you're
Yes.
recognized.
Thank you. May I please recognize Honorable Raul Daniel A. Manuel from Kabataan Party List, Honorable Amparo Maria J. Zamora from the 2nd District of Taguig, and Senior Vice Chairperson Honorable Benvenido M. Abante Jr. from the 6th District of Manila. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I believe we'll begin with Congressman Acop. Congressman Acop,
Thank
you're
you.
recognized.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa atin lahat. Sa mga kapwa ko miyembro ng Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability at saka sa publiko na nakasubaybay sa ating mga hearings. Isa po sa pinagmulan ng legislative inquiry na ito ay ang privilege speech ni Honorable Rolando Valeriano noong ikatatlo ng September 2024, delivered before the plenary session of the House of Representatives. Simple lang po ang pinaghuhugutan ng privilege speech na ito. Transparency and accountability on the expenditure of public funds. Sa pamamagitan ng mga hearings ng ating committee ay ating ginampanan ang tungkulin na alamin ang mga kakulangan sa ating batas at busisiin ang paggastos ng mga nakaraang ipinagkatiwalaang pondo ng bayan upang masigurado ang transparency at accountability ng ating pamunuan. Ulitin ko po yung sinabi ni Honorable Roland Valeriano. Tungkulin natin dito sa Kongreso na busisiin ang panukalang budget ng ehekutibo at ang paggastos ng mga nakaraang pinagkatiwalaang pondo ng bayan. Hindi pera ng pangalawang Pangulo. Ang Office of the Vice President budget para sa taong 2022, 2023, 2024 at 2025. Pondo ng bayan yan. Kaya mayroong budget hearings ay para malaman ng madlang people kung paano ginagastos ng mga opisina ng gobyerno ang pondo ng bayan na pinagkatiwala sa kanila. Ito po ay ayon kay Honorable Roland Valeriano. Nagsimula nga po ang hearings natin sa pagbusisi sa paggamit ng mga nakaraang budget ng mga opisinang pinamumunuan ng Office of the Vice President. Ang pinakamalaking parte ng pondo sa socio-economic program na umaabot ng humigit kumulang 2.2 billion pesos for 2023 at 1.75 billion for fiscal year 2024, pero hindi po malinaw ang mga benepisaryo. Ayon po sa Office of the Vice President, ang mga components ng programang ito ay ang mga sumusunod: libreng sakay, pagbabago campaign, OVP food trucks, livelihood programs like Magnegosyo Taday and Peace 911, medical assistance, burial assistance, and public assistance. May listahan silang binibigay sa COA ukol sa mga benepisaryo ng mga programang ito. Pero kapansin-pansin po sa mga accomplishment reports o ARs na sinubmit nila para sa confidential funds na may tila hiwalay pa na pamimigay ng medical and food aid na kinukuha raw sa confidential funds. Halimbawa, noong February 6 to March 29, 2023, halagang 42 million in medical and food aid was given using confidential funds, while another 40 million noong April 25 to June 30, 2023 ang pinamigay kuno gamit ang confidential funds na hindi dumadaan sa regular na proseso ng procurement at aid distribution. Kinalaunan, ating natuklasan ang nakababahalang paglustay ng confidential funds ng Office of the Vice President at pati na rin ang Department of Education. Nakita natin na nababalot ng secrecy and lack of transparency ang paghawak ng Office of the Vice President at ng Department of Education noong sekretarya pa nito si Vice President Sara Duterte ang confidential funds na inilagak sa kanila noong taong 2022 at 2023 for OVP at 2023 for Department of Education. May mga resource persons tayo noon na hindi sumisipot o sinasabing wala silang personal involvement o participation. Mayroon ding ayaw naman mag-take ng oath upang magsasabi ng pawang katotohanan lamang sa komite na ito. Hindi exaggeration na sabihin na tayo ay dumaan sa butas ng karayom at napakadaming roadblocks para umabot tayo sa puntong ito. Ngunit unti-unti, sa pamamagitan ng ating masusi at porsigidong pagtatanong at sa paghahanap ng mga facts at ebidensya, ay ating natanggal ang secrecy na nagkukubli at nagtatago sa katotohanan sa kung ano ba talaga ang nangyari at kung saan o kanino napunta ang pondo ng bayan. Ito po ang money trail ng confidential funds ng OVP at DepEd based on the testimonies of Special Disbursing Officers Madam Gina F. Acosta ng OVP at ni Ginoong Edward Fajarda ng DepEd. The money trail of the confidential funds for both agencies looked exactly the same. First, after finishing all internal financial processes and documentations and securing all required signatories in the disbursement vouchers, including Vice President Sara Duterte herself, the SDOs received the land bank checks representing the confidential funds for each quarter. Malalaking halaga po ang mga ito. Sa OVP pa lang, nakakuha sila ng 125 million bawat quarter simula noong fourth quarter of 2022 hanggang third quarter of 2023. Sa DepEd naman, 37.5 million kada quarter for 3 quarters or a total of 112.5 million. Sumatotal, 612.5 million po lahat. The SDOs themselves are the payees in these quarterly checks. The next step was for the SDOs to encash the confidential funds checks. Sabi po ni SDO Edward Fajarda, pina-encash po niya ang bawat isa nung tatlong 37.5 million checks sa Land Bank DEX branch, cold cash. Nilalagay sa 2 duffel bags at isang backpack ang cash. May kasama raw siya noong 3 beses na yon, nakilala niya lamang bilang Alan. Matapos mag-encash, dinala niya ang cash sa kanyang opisina sa DepEd. Sabi naman ni SDO Gina Acosta, para sa OVP confidential funds worth 125 million per quarter, pinapa-encash niya ang bawat cheque sa Land Bank Shaw Boulevard branch. Kasama niya si Assistant Chief of Staff Lemuel Ortonio at 2 di mapangalanan driver sa pagpapa-encash ng bawat cheque. 4 na beses, inilalagay raw nila ang 125 million cash sa 4 na duffel bags. Pareho sinabi ni Acosta at Ortonio na mula sa Land Bank ay pumunta na sila sa opisina ni Madam Gina Acosta sa Office of the Vice President. As if it was all planned and orchestrated or part of a common design, both SDO Acosta and Fajarda said that the Vice President directly instructed them to hand over the cash representing the confidential funds to certain security officers. For DepEd, may itinalaga raw si Colonel Raymond Lachica, ang head ng Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group ng isang security officer na nangangalang Colonel Dennis Nolasco, kung saan weekly nagbibigay ng pondo si SDO Fajarda amounting to 4 to 6 million per week. For the Office of the Vice President, si Colonel Lachica raw mismo ang security officer na buong pinag-aabutan ni SDO Acosta ng 125 million every quarter. Matapos di umano ibigay ng mga SDOs ang pera sa mga security officers na sina Colonel Nolasco at Colonel Lachica, wala na raw silang partisipasyon sa actual disbursement ng confidential funds. Wala silang ibang basehan sa kung anong nangyari sa pondo, kundi sa pamamagitan ng mga accomplishment reports na kailangang ihanda, isumite para sa liquidation ng confidential funds. Malinaw po sa kwento ng mga SDOs na hindi sila ang nag-disburse o nagbayad ng payments to the informants and other supposed payees ng confidential funds. Naturalmente, hindi rin sila ang gumagawa ng accomplishment reports kasi wala silang kaalaman kung papaano nagasta ang pera ng bayan. Ito po ang parehong sinabi sa hearing ni na SDO Acosta at SDO Farda. Sabi, wala po akong alam sa pag-implement po ng confidential activities dahil po hindi ko po iyan in line sa aking pinag-aralan. Your Honor, hindi po kasi ako ang expert diyan. Si Colonel Nolasco po, siya po kasi ang gumawa niyan. Ito po yung mga sagot ng ating mga resource persons noong mga hearing. It is also being made to appear that the acknowledgement receipts or the documentary evidence of payments, o tawag natin ay DEPs, supposedly also came from these security officers. Hindi po malinaw para sa akin ang kwento nila kung kailan inaabot sa kanila ng security officers ang acknowledgement receipts. Pero ang malinaw po sa mga AOMs ng COA na hindi sinubmit ang mga acknowledgement receipts kasabay ng kanilang mga liquidation reports. Mukhang parati na lang afterthought ang pag-submit ng acknowledgement receipt sa COA. Ito ay sinubmit kasabay ng mga letter response na pirmado ni Attorney Poa para sa DepEd at para sa OVP ni na Attorney Lopez and Ginoong Ontorio. Sila nag-submit ng acknowledgement receipts sa COA. Isa pong obserbasyon sa mga revelations na ito ng mga SDOs at mga ibang opisyal at dating opisyal ng DepEd at OVP. Tila ba sinasaya tayong nililito, nililigaw at pinapagulo ang narrative sa kung ano ba talaga ang nangyari sa OVP at DepEd confidential funds. Kung inyong matatandaan, nung una ay sinabi nilang tanging ang mga SDOs lamang ang may kaalaman sa disbursement ng confidential funds. Ngunit nang magpakita na ang mga SDOs sa committee hearings at tinanong sila, wala din daw silang alam sa mga detalye patungkol dito sa mga confidential funds. Lahat po sila ay nagtuturuan. Pero sino nga ba ang pumirma sa mga accomplishment report at certification? Ang mga SDOs at si Vice President Sara Duterte. Kung totoo ang sinabi ni na SDO Acosta at Farda, malinaw na ito'y paglabag sa Joint Circular 2015-01 o ang guidelines sa paggamit at pag-audit ng confidential at intelligence funds na tila ginamit lamang sila bilang middlemen o pass-through ng pondo. Nananatiling misteryoso at tago kung saan talaga napunta ang confidential funds. Isang butas sa guidelines na dapat tugunan sa pamamagitan ng batas. Mula sa Davao City na lumaki noong siya ay mayor hanggang sa mas malalaking pondo ng mapas sa kamay niya bilang Vice President at DepEd Secretary, nakakapagtaka rin ang obsession ni Vice President Sara sa confidential funds. Marahil ito'y dahil sa kalakip ng opacity at antas ng secrecy sa pag-disburse ng mga confidential funds na tila nagiging daan upang ito'y abusuhin ng walang accountability. At pagbaliwala sa mga alituntuning ito ay isang paglapastangan sa tiwala ng publiko at sa prinsipyo ng pananagutan na dapat sinusunod ng bawat institusyon ng pamahalaan, lalong-lalo na sa opisina ng pangalawang Pangulo. Let me remind the public of what is at stake here. It would constitute graft and corruption if public funds are misused or misappropriated, or worse, if funds are diverted to personal use or benefit. And given the amount we are talking about here, this may be under the crime of plunder. We leave it to the investigative bodies of the government to investigate the crimes committed here. Meanwhile, our task now is to legislate measures that will leave no room for pilferage of public funds. Maraming salamat po. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Acop. Next, the chair would like to recognize the Honorable Rog Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Just taking off from where Congressman Acop started. But before that, I would like to start by saying that this has been one of the most fruitful committee hearings that I've had the pleasure in joining. Throughout the course of 7 hearings, we have brought detail to some long-held suspicions, the confidential funds of the OVP and DepEd that had been abused or malversed or maybe even taken. By abused, I mean that the relevant officers of the OVP and the DepEd took advantage of gaps in and in fact violated Joint Circular 2015-001. Mahirap po na problema ito. Pera po ng taong bayan ang pinag-uusapan dito, and unless we are aware of these gaps and violations, the legal regime cannot and will not change for the better. Today, I'd like to go through some of these violations as mentioned by Congressman Acop. The SDO has the sole mandate to disburse the CF, the confidential funds, and to prepare and submit the liquidation reports of cash advances with the relevant supporting documentation as prescribed under the Joint Circular. Siya lamang. On the other hand, a security officer is a personnel who has been officially designated as such to have access to security information. Klaro po ang kani-kanilang mga responsibilidad. Ang SDO po ang sa disbursement o ang sa pagbibigay ng pera. Ang SO naman, yung security officer naman, ay binibigyan lamang ng access sa impormasyon. To elaborate and para po sa kaalaman ng lahat, under the Joint Circular, the SDO is personally tasked with the disbursement and liquidation of confidential funds. Ang SDO ang tagabigay ng pera, siya lang under the Joint Circular. Natural lang po ito dahil ang SDO ang isa sa mga accountable officers or those public officers personally accountable when something goes wrong with respect to the utilization or disbursement of these confidential funds. And this is precisely the reason why kinakailangan may fidelity bond ang SDO. The fidelity bond is there so that if anything happens to the funds while it is in the custody of the SDO, sigurado na may maibabalik pa rin na pondo to the government through the bond and for the security of the taxpayers. Yung head of agency is also personally tasked to oversee the agency-wide use and disposition of confidential funds. Siya rin ang nag-a-appoint ng SDO. Because of the functions that burden the head of agency is also an accountable officer. Sa makatuwid, yung SDO po yung inaatasan ng batas natin na humawak at siguraduhin mapunta ang confidential funds sa naaayon na confidential expenses allowed under the Joint Circular. Hindi niya pwedeng i-delegate ang custody ng confidential funds dahil siya ang mananagot rito. Hindi niya pwedeng iutos sa iba. Hindi pwedeng ibigay sa security officer. In the case of SDO Edward Fajarda of the DepEd, while he has admitted to having encashed the 3 checks amounting to 37.5 million pesos each, he has also claimed that he did not know or had no way of knowing how the funds were to be utilized after handing them over to the designated security officer. Mr. Fajarda stated that since it was Colonel Nolasco who is the expert in confidential operations, it was Colonel Lolasco who supposedly made the disbursements of the confidential funds in different localities. It begs the question, sino po ba ang totoong special dispersing officer? Kung ang nag-iisang taong pinagdi-disperse ng SDO ay si Colonel Loasco, kung pagka-encash ng cheque ay agara naman itong inaabot sa security officer. Whatever happened to Mr. Fajardo being an accountable officer under the joint circular? Kung wala siyang slightest idea kung saan napupunta o kanino ibinibigay ang confidential funds? Is his role in this entire process simply ministerial? We beg to disagree. Mr. Fajardo is not just a simple bagman that would withdraw the funds and turn over to the security officer. His role, as material as it is, carries with it discretion. Discretion to ensure the accuracy of the data in the liquidation reports and to be accountable for the disbursements from the cash advances of confidential funds. But Mr. Fajardo admitted that he merely relied on the documents evidencing payments submitted by the security officer. His failure to exercise the standard care and diligence required of and inherent in his function is the height of irresponsibility and is in clear violation of his mandate under the joint circular. At bakit po nangyari ito? Dahil ito raw ang sabi ng head of agency ng DepEd doon na si VP Sara na ibigay ang pera sa security officer. Same case po tayo with SDO Gina Acosta of the OVP. Ms. Acosta also admitted that the utilization and payment of the confidential funds involves her handing over the money to a security officer per the instruction of no less than head of the agency, Vice President Duterte. SDO Acosta also supposedly never knew where the security officer took or expended the confidential funds. She has only testified on the basis of the information supposedly fed to her, without certainty as to who are the actual recipients or payees of the confidential funds, whether they are even actual persons. In the past hearings, it has always been made to appear that Ms. Acosta for OVP and Mr. Fajardo for DepEd would have the most knowledge as the SDOs of the confidential funds. And we have always been made to believe that it would be the two of them who would be able to shed light on the discrepancies flagged by the COA and the other erroneous and false matters po na didiscover po namin through these hearings. Unfortunately, the SDOs themselves violated their own accountability, their own certifications in the liquidation report, with them disclaiming knowledge kung saan or kanino ba talaga pumunta ang bawat sentimo ng confidential funds. They violated a particular responsibility under item 4.15.1 of the joint circular, where they are supposed to certify at least two things: na sila ang accountable for the disbursements of confidential funds and that the expenses were incurred in connection with the agency's confidential activities. How can they faithfully attest to these kung binibigay lang din naman nila yung confidential funds sa ibang tao or empleyado? Basta mangako din sa kanya yung empleyado, halimbawa, nagagamitin yung pera pambayad sa informer or pang-conduct ng surveillance activities. Now let's move on to another reeling discovery na atin din pong na-uncover throughout the hearings. And this is with respect to the certifications issued by officers of the AFP, submitted by the DepEd to the COA in support of the DepEd's utilization of confidential funds for payment of rewards to informers. Matatandaang mahigit 15 million pesos of the confidential funds spending of the DepEd went to payment of reward to informers. This expense item has been flagged by the COA in view of the DepEd's failure to provide sufficient supporting documentation on the success of the agency's own information gathering and surveillance activities. Para po ipaalala sa nakakarami, under the joint circular, one of the conditions that must be met in order for an agency or office to use confidential funds to pay rewards to informers is supporting documentation evidencing the success of the information gathering and or surveillance activities on account of the information provided by the informer. Based on the respective accomplishment reports and the acknowledgement receipts submitted by the OVP and the DepEd, the total amounts utilized for the payment of reward to informers is 96,980,000 pesos for the OVP, covering the period from the fourth quarter of 2022 until the third quarter of 2023, and 21,921,000 pesos for DepEd from the first to third quarters of 2023. This is a total of 118,901,000 pesos. Napakarami po sanang classroom, tuition, sweldo ng guro, at iba pa ang pwedeng paggamitan nito. I stress also that this amount of money is just for supposed payment of rewards. It does not include all other things for which confidential funds were spent for. When inquired about the certifications which the DepEd submitted to the COA, former Undersecretary and Chief of Staff of the Office of the Secretary of DepEd, Mr. Michael Poa, admitted to having asked retired Major General Nolasco Mempin to secure said certifications from the AFP as a means to justify the use of confidential funds, despite DepEd not being directly involved in AFP-led activities. This was confirmed by former Education Undersecretary Major General Mempin, who stated on record that the DepEd has not released any single centavo to the conduct of youth leadership summits. The AFP officers themselves admitted that they did not receive any funding from the DepEd. The summits were actually funded by the budget of the Philippine Army and from funds of participating local government units, as conferred by Colonel Boransing. Lieutenant Colonel Panopio also supported Colonel Boransing's statements that they were not aware that certifications issued by them would be used to justify the DepEd's confidential fund spending for informants. We eventually came to know that these certifications issued by Army Civil Military Operations Staff Officers Colonel Boransing, Lieutenant Colonel Sangdaan Jr., and Colonel Magtanggol Panopio for the youth leadership summits and information education campaigns in 2023 only showed that the fact that these events were successfully conducted at the different barangays in their areas of responsibility. This is yet another clear derogation of the joint circular. DepEd misleadingly made it appear that the agency used confidential funds for youth training programs, when in truth it was the AFP and the LGUs which actually shouldered the expenses from their respective confidential fund allocations. There was never any correlation between DepEd's supposed surveillance or information gathering activities with the AFP's successful conduct of its summits and campaigns in partnership with the LGUs. The DepEd took advantage of the AFP, rode in the coattails of the AFP, and misled the AFP into issuing certifications for a project that is not the DepEd's to begin with. And who could forget the many anomalies we were able to uncover with respect to the acknowledgement receipts or documents evidencing payment submitted by the DepEd and the OVP to the COA. With the select few that we were able to highlight throughout the hearings, ay marami po talagang lumutang na discrepancies na ni dapat ipasawalang bahala. We were able to trace the disbursements by counter-checking the dates indicated in the ARs, and we came to know through this hearing that DepEd SDO was able to complete a job that we believe is humanly impossible. An examination of the acknowledgement receipts submitted by the DepEd for the first quarter of 2023 revealed that Mr. Fajarda made disbursements for 38 consecutive days, and for 35 out of those 38 days, payouts were made to at least 10 to 26 people per day and for various purposes. For example, reward payment, incentives, supplies, rentals, traveling expenses, etc. This is something that could not be easily missed because the acknowledgement receipts, at least for the DepEd, have fields where the payees indicate the date they received the payment and their own addresses or location. We will recall that on February 21, 2023, or the very next day after SDO Fajarda encashed a 37.5 million peso check with the Land Bank, the SDO made 7 disbursements already in 7 different locations, as evidenced by the acknowledgement receipts recorded for that date. Hindi kapani-paniwala for one person designated as the SDO to have made disbursements in Malolos, Bulacan, Danao, Cebu, San Francisco, Agusan del Sur, Makati City, Negros Occidental, Negros Oriental, and Davao City all in one day. Worse, we found other examples of DepEd acknowledgement receipts of the same date, but varied widely in terms of the localities where the payments were made. Plotting these on the Philippine map, within a single day on March 15, 2023, there were 26 disbursements which were made across 24 localities from Batanes to Davao del Sur, with total confidential expenses amounting to 1,870,000 pesos. On the 9th of March 2023, the DepEd, supposedly through its SDO, was able to make 20 disbursements over 18 localities all over the Philippines, with disbursements of confidential funds amounting to more than 1,400,000 pesos. And lastly, on February 25, 2023, there were 21 disbursements across 18 localities all over the country amounting to almost 1,400,000 pesos. All three examples reinforce our point that no amount of imagination can make us believe that these disbursements were made to these people at these locations and at these dates. It is physically impossible. Even assuming that the DepEd has its satellite offices and field personnel all over the country, we should always go back to the joint circular as our Bible. The function of disbursing and of being accountable for the cash advances of the confidential funds is lodged with the SDO and the SDO alone. Delegating this function to any other officer or employee would run counter to the express guidelines of the joint circular and the safeguards that it entails. Unsurprisingly, the same discrepancies have been observed in the OVP acknowledgement receipts, particularly for the payouts and disbursements for the fourth quarter of 2022. For everyone's recollection, this period refers to the 11 days when the OVP was able to use up 125 million pesos worth of confidential funds. And markedly, there were at least 3 days out of those 11 days that the payouts reached 100 recipients. For instance, noon pong December 23, 2022, based on the records and the AR submitted by the OVP to the COA, SDO Gina Acosta was able to disburse more than 15 million pesos to 103 distinct individuals for various purposes. Tila po ba naka-hyperdrive na ang naging pag-disburse ni SDO Acosta para siguruhing ma-expend ang allocated confidential funds sa OVP sa mga nalalabing araw ng 2022. Notably, the following day or Christmas Eve of 2022, these disbursements continued based on the 40 acknowledgement receipts from the OVP on this date. It spent a total of 5,429,000 pesos on supposed confidential activities. Grabe talaga itong OVP non-stop kahit magpapasko na. Whoever disbursed more than 5 billion pesos truly embodied the spirit of generosity during the holidays. If it was actually true, this amount was disbursed for confidential expenses. Lastly, we found acknowledgement receipts that the OVP reported and submitted for the fourth quarter of 2022, but bear dates outside the period for which they are intended to be used as proof. Na-observe po namin how the OVP fourth quarter acknowledgement receipts were dated December 2023, when they have been supposedly paid out to and received by the recipients in 2022. Understandably, a person can instinctively write the past year in documents when welcoming a new year. But we find it very eccentric po kasi for a person writing a date in 2022 and mistakenly indicating the immediately succeeding year, 2023, wala po yata ibang reason dito except that the acknowledgement receipts were indeed executed in 2023 and not in 2022, contrary to what the OVP is trying to establish. Sa dami po nang na-discover natin in the past hearings na sinubaybayan po ng publiko, we uncovered irregularities and deficiencies in the disbursements and reporting of the confidential funds allocated to the OVP and to the DepEd. This has been an extremely insightful exercise of our mandate as we were able to examine the sufficiency of our current legislation and how this current legislation safeguards us from potential misuse and abuse of public funds, as well as the potential malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance in the office by officers and employees of the government. Our task does not end here. It is now our duty to craft legislation that will protect the public coffers and ensure that they are not used and abused by public servants for their personal agenda. With that, Mr. Chair, I conclude my part of the hearing. Thank you, Paul.